Taiwanese virtual reality films are making a splash at this year's Venice Film Festival, which wraps up this weekend. 3 of the offerings are up for awards. A total of 67 Taiwanese VR works and industry players were featured on the sidelines of the festival. Taiwan was invited to set up a special booth organized by the government-sponsored Taiwan Creative Content Agency, which helps creators reach an international audience. The 3 Taiwanese films in competition are fantasy animation Red Tail, a human rights piece The Man Who Couldn't Leave, and experimental theater piece All That Remains. With the Venice Film Festival gearing up to announce the winners in its VR film competition, Andrew Ryan reached out to the director of All That Remains, Riverbed Theatre's artistic director, Quintero.
So first of all, can you start by telling us about your piece, All That Remains?
As a medium, it's really exciting because the audience in their own home or here, if you look behind me, in the space here, they can put on an Oculus headset and suddenly they're transported into this other world. And it's kind of a unique work that there's not really a set sort of plot or storyline or characters. It's more like a living painting or like a living sculpture. And so for this 12 minutes, these images sort of wash over the audience. And yesterday we were screening it for some folks. And then after this 12 minutes, they took off the Oculus and they were in tears. And it was interesting because, Romeo doesn't die or Juliet doesn't die, but something happens. And so it's less about the plot or about these people in the work and more about creating this reflective experience in which the audience can see themselves.
Now, you've traditionally done stage plays. What are you hoping the audience will experience from virtual reality?
In 2011, we started doing these performances for an audience of one. So there are these live performances that were staged, really sort of intimate encounters for an audience. And exploring this model for about 10 years, and it got really expensive to have sometimes 8 or 10 performers performing for one person. And as we're making this transition to VR, we lose some of those sensory qualities, so we don't have touch or taste or smell, but we really gain this direct connection between the performer and the audience, where the performers really seem to almost be seen into the hearts of the audience. And so there's a moment where the woman enters the space and her eyes are down, and she looks up into the camera, and it's really as if we're being seen. And so really different than like a movie camera or like a film where you're watching up on a big screen. There's something really intimate about this VR world. It's not reality, but it's something that is sort of between reality and film. It's a new metaverse. The first time I screened it for my sister-in-law, as she's watching it, she kept backing up, and by the end she backed up about 6 feet because the characters kept getting closer and closer to her, and it was almost too much of an experience for her. At this time where a lot of us are separated by distance because of the pandemic, we're unable to go to theaters and to be in this communal space. It's a really special journey, and it's a big step for our theater company.
Now, I understand that there's actually a large contingent of artists from Taiwan who are in Venice this year. What's it like to be there with everybody representing Taiwan?
Yeah, it's been an amazing experience. It's a showcase where, again, you say you're a Taiwanese company and everyone's like, okay, there's high expectations. And it's remarkable that within like 6 or 7 years, Taiwan has become a leader in this field. And I imagine in the years to come, Taiwan will still be sort of taking that leading role.